Hello, everybody. This is Just in Case from American Newscape. Join our friend and media personality Jerry Maldonado back for another installment of American Mentoring. Hello, Jerry. Welcome back to American Newscape.
Well, thank you for having me, Mr. Nostalgia.
Mr. Nostalgia. Yeah, I was reminiscing on some old
Yeah,
classic songs, but
the classic songs, and they weren't the songs that we should have been listening to.
well, no, they weren't. But that's what we had. That's what we had.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know who was also nostalgic? The gentleman who directed that great movie that we're going to talk about here, John Landis. Remember
J-
him?
John Landis. Yeah, I do
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah. So you make your intro and let's rock and roll, man.
Okay, well let's do this, Jerry. So what's happening with all this we're going to talk about? Why don't you lead us down that road?
Yeah, we had a quick topic that you and I discussed, man. Values and beliefs. Um, This is the inside job that really sets a lot of us back. And getting back to John Landis, he was the creator of.
Animal House?
Thank you. Look at you go, Meatball. You're right on the ball, man. But he had one of the most iconic scenes that everybody deals with every day. And the old devil and the angel. Remember that thing going on there?
I do. I do.
Yeah.
I don't.
Us back then as teenagers, that was the best scene in the world for us. But it was the biggest. It was a huge psychological scene. There's a secret behind that. That's all I'm trying to get into here. The values and beliefs is an inner civil war that we have with ourselves every single day in this form of transformation. The angel is the one that you want to be. It's that person you've always wanted to be in life. But then you look over to your right and you got the devil sitting over there, man. He is the past beliefs that you carry. A lot, and just talking about today from talking to one of my Beltway buddies, and she was saying, I want all this, but I don't know if I can do it. Or I want to become that. I don't know if I'm good enough. It's that inner civil war. And this is what I practice on every day in my journaling and whatever I do. It's that inner civil war of balancing what I value and what I believe in and to make them coincide with each other. That's the missing piece in a lot of people's lives, if you can concur with that on my end.
Well, I do think it's one of the major issues we all face every day. Temptation is out there, and temptation can also be for good. I mean, temptation can also get you off your butt and get moving, get you going in the direction you need to go. So is that angelical? I don't know.
In a sense, but we all want this amazing life. And that's our little buddy, the angel on the left hand side. He's saying, you can do it, you can do it. But then you got decades on the right hand side saying you can't do it or can we do it? And until you align that confidence level together, that energy level, you're literally fighting with two different energy sources per se of what you want to be and who you are. The universe doesn't know what to give you. This is a confusion that people have the ups and downs. They're successful 1 month and then down the next. It's that old self that has come back that brings everything down, where the new self pops in to bring everything up. And it's a psychological hamster wheel. And this is the hardest thing for people to get. It's just why they go down is that they're just revisiting where they've been and where they don't want to be. And to me, and it was the longest battle because you're talking decades of saying you can't, it's not going to happen. To a decade or two, say, wait, maybe I can do it. It's just a reconditioning of the old conditioning, hence the programming that goes on in your life.
Well, maybe it's the Dr. Seuss generation. It left all these young children confused. Where I had the little engine that could actually, and I also had the bear that went over the mountain. I knew these things. I grew up with these things. I believed in these things. Those were my values. I was that little engine that could.
You bring up the most trivial stuff. I love it. You
Well,
talk about a kid's book. I'm talking about people's life. I'm like, I know you're using that as a metaphor. I get it. But if people can realize why they're going up and down with these fits and starts in their life, they'll realize they're just fighting with themselves. They're
well, I,
fighting with what they want to be, and then they're fighting with what they don't want to be in life. They don't want to be a failure, so they're afraid to go after what they want. But they want to succeed. Does that all this make sense? It's like it's this inner civil war that we fight every day. And for me, what has helped the most is just reconditioning my thought patterns. You can't change your life until you change yourself. And when people realize they're actually changing themselves, then they start believing in themselves. Hence, they're emitting a different energy about who they are. And when they keep doing that every day, you're not going to have the ups and downs. It's just going to be a parallel line, a line of successes that they've always wanted, but they got to get past the gate of that old self that keeps reopening from the past.
well, I agree, Jerry. And a lot, almost everybody grew up on the value system. That we were tied to our values and the value system. And I
Oh, you mean
believe,
conformity?
yeah, well, not that as much as
Not in a
I.
bad way. Not in a bad way. I'm
No,
just
no,
saying
no,
how it was.
no, no. Yeah, well, yeah. But that values when we grew up, we were kind of that's what we were basing our character on, and that's what we were growing emotionally, intellectually. And I do believe it can evolve. You can be in a real
Yes.
dark place, and that your values are what's devastating you. It's what's holding you back. And once those values evolve, and I think we can all stand some enhancement there, your belief system will evolve too, because now you'll have a
Yeah.
new perspective on everything.
The, but the belief system is basically our foundation. And our values is what we build a house on that foundation. And depends on what you're thinking about every day is what you're going to bring about every day. You bring up a fantastic point of evolving. Indeed. I was looking at an old picture on a license that I had today. My daughter and I were looking at it. That was from like, 10 years ago to now. It's like night and day. That's just the evolution of self. And everybody can have that same kind of so-called personal success in their life when they get past who they were to who they want to become. And the hardest part is transformation with people thinking that it's going to come from the outside world. It's not. It's all inner thought, inner belief system. We can value anything we want. In other words, we put a value on it emotionally every day. And we carry that emotion in our thoughts every day. All we're carrying is a higher ratio of energy that we're sending out. But then you get beliefs that kick in the old patterns and thoughts and everything else that we used to be. It kind of makes everything static. So evolution, indeed, that's why they call it a process. If people realize that change is a process, they won't get so frustrated to head back to the right side, to the brother in red who keeps telling them they can't do it. They're going to start understanding themselves a little bit better.
Well, and we talk about value systems, and you're right. It prioritizes our lives for us. If we talk about addictions such as tobacco or heroin or alcohol, that becomes your primary value. That becomes your
No,
Yes, it does. If it's an addiction,
no.
yes,
Legal
it does.
substances can do that? I didn't know that.
Well,
Adult beverages can do that?
they
But
can
you're absolutely right.
to some they can't.
Yeah.
We all know people that do not have a drinking problem that drink a lot, and then there's people that can't drink anything, and it destroys their value system, and it can actually destroy their life. Just like so many temptations out there.
Well, and you know why? Because it hinders their thinking, their focus.
Absolutely.
And it takes you off your path. That's why you always, I'm a wimp. I drink tea and coffee all day long. That's just who I am. I basically get high on life. But you bring up a great point. I mean, focus is everything. So it depends on how important what you value to achieve is. If you have, like you and I have we have this amazing value system of where we want to go in life because we've already seen the right side, man. We've already been there. We've done that. We're like, yep, a nice visit. I don't want to go back there again. I think people have to get to that point in their evolution process to realize, yeah, I'm kind of sick of going back to where I was, and I'm going to kind of hang out on this side and check out the air on that side, because over there you'll find immense peace with attaining your dreams and your goals. And most importantly, you won't need certain things in your life to help you get there. You'll do it on your own with your own way of thoughts. You won't need anybody. You'll just be able to do it on your own, the way who you are.
Well, and we wish you better success than the bear who went over the mountain to see what he could see. Because he was sorely disappointed.
Back to the book.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, come on, snap out of it. Come on, come back to me.
My,
Talk to me. Talk to
my,
everybody.
yeah. Come back to the light.
Come back. Come on. Hey, it's okay.
Yeah,
It's okay.
maybe my belief system has a few chinks in its armor.
Yeah, but look how far you've come.
There you go.
You,
There you go.
you've used it to your advantage, whereas most people use experiences as a disadvantage. If people would flip their belief system on where they've been and use that as knowledge to move them forward, oh, what a world it would be! And believe me, I lived on wisdom the wrong way for the longest time. But I
Well,
realized, wait a minute, I'm a walking dictionary. Why don't I start reading it? And when I start reading it, I'll start understanding myself as a person, where I've been, and using that knowledge to move forward in life. It's a great way of living, but to get there, sometimes whatever can happen, the epiphanies or this or the downfalls, like a downfall with me, it really just woke me up.
everybody, all of us here have had those experiences, and they're not going anywhere. We might as well take advantage of that knowledge.
Oh, great point. Great point. Indeed. And you're right. It goes in the storehouse of the mind. It's installed in the subconscious to be triggered by whatever sense or five senses that kick in. You're absolutely right. So, however you believe in your experiences, or did they help you or did they hurt you, is going to depend on your future.
Well, I agree. And are you honest about those remembrances? Are you honest about how you remember those things?
Oh, yeah. But with me, that's why I take myself as an open book, because it's so similar to basically everybody else. It's just how we believe and what has happened to us and how we perceive that every single day. Hence, opinion, which is what you brought up earlier. That's a huge point. How you think of yourself is what you bring to yourself.
Absolutely. Hey, Jerry, why don't you leave us with a final thought, and we'll put this one in the bag, and we'll all remember as we go away. We'll all remember that little engine that could, and you can be that
And you're cutting me
inspiration
off
to us.
again, you thought.
You
He's
can,
he's turning the light. It's last call, everybody. No, everybody. Getting past his book. Don't worry about his book, man. Just listen to me and be quiet, everybody. Everybody's going to go home and start reading their children's books all over again. To change yourself, you have to understand it's not a one toe in the pool situation. For those of you who really, I had to learn the hard way. I was the guy who like putting one toe in the cold water, afraid to go in the pool. For you to start this process of evolution, if you dedicate yourself to what you value in life and you give it 1,000% of yourself every single day, no matter the outcome, you will manifest that in your life in some way, and everything is going to match up accordingly, because that is the law. It's universal law. You're not denied nothing that you don't first deny yourself. And when you grasp hold of what you truly value, you'll learn to realize that where you've been, use it as an experience, not where you're going in life as a bad experience.
I like that, Jerry. Hey, everybody. This has been Justin Case and Jerry Maldonado bringing you American Mentoring. Thanks for joining us. Remember, additional information and links are provided in this video's read more. Today's the day to subscribe to this channel. Please learn more about Jerry Maldonado when time permits.